So, hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box, my voice is audible. Okay, sir, thank you everyone for your response in the chat box. And today is the day third of this GST comprehensive course. We have started our discussion from the basics of GST. That is, what do you mean by this GST? Why there is requirement of GST? We have also covered the GST law and the GST and common portal. We have also covered the specific, that is, various ledgers on the GST and common portal, credit ledger, cash ledger, and the cash ledger, credit ledger, and the liability ledger. Everything we have covered, and the logics of the ledger as well we have covered. We have also covered the point, that is output tax, outward supply, input tax, inward supply. Also we have covered the various returns, that is basic about. That means we require to file two returns. One is for declaring the outward supply, another is to claim the input tax credit, we can say. Also we have covered the various things related to the normal mechanism, reverse charge mechanism, composition scheme, regular scheme. These things also we have covered in our last session. Okay, so today also we'll discuss on certain basic things related to GST, and from our next class onwards we'll directly start our discussion on the sections of GST. As we have holiday, because we have received certain requests from the participants, we have a valid holiday on 13th and 14th due to the festival Holi. Okay, so we have the leave for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, 13 and 14. So please note this specific thing. Okay, also you will receive the same in the WhatsApp group about the leave. So now, sir, my voice is perfect. I think everything is fine. Okay, so Gaganraj sir, please check at your end. There may be certain issues. Okay, sir. Deepak sir, thank you for your response. Now let's start our discussion on the next point. Where is my now, sir? GST basics ho gaya. We have done with that. There will be a outward supply on which we have to pay the tax. That means the supplier has to make the payment of the taxes, and the inward supply which has been taken by the recipient, that person is eligible to claim the input tax credit. Now the question is that how that outward supply will be reported and how the input tax credit will be claimed under the mechanism of GST. So we'll just try to understand the mechanism of declaration of outward supply and the input tax credit with logics. Although I know very well that you are filing the same while filing the GSTR 1 return or 3B return, but we'll try to understand with logics. Okay, so that the logic will be there for GSTR 1 and 3B. Okay. Then after we'll also discuss, we have received one question in the WhatsApp group as well related to exempted, nil rated, non-taxable, non-GST supply. So we'll discuss that as well. Although we have covered certain concept in our last session, but we'll again discuss the same. Okay. And also I request, if you have any query, any question after the session, you are free to raise the same in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So that I will take the topic in the next day's session. Or if any immediate query is there, in that case we'll discuss on WhatsApp or on call as well. Query response will not be provided immediately because that WhatsApp number has been handled by my team. Okay, so when we'll reach to my office or when they will share that query with me, we'll definitely resolve the same. Okay. Now let's start our discussion. Sir, we are saying that the supplier is going to report the outward supply. Okay, so suppose I am a supplier. Sachin is a supplier, and I had made certain sales, I had made certain supply. Okay, I had made certain supply to Mr. Chetanji. I had made certain supply to Mr. Chetanji. Okay, so Mr. Chetanji is buyer, I am the supplier. I had made certain supplies and I had provided certain services. So when I am going to provide any services to Mr. Chetan, in such a scenario, I will issue the invoice with the services. This is very basic, because whenever we'll provide any services or goods, there is requirement to issue the invoice. So I have also issued one invoice to Mr. Chetan. That is, my service fees is suppose 5,000 rupees. rate of GST is 18% and 900 rupees is the GST amount. Just wait for a single second. An urgent call is there, so just give me 2 to 3 minutes. I will back in next 2 to 3 minutes only. Okay. Sorry for the break. Let's start our discussion. Okay, sound is low. Just give me one single second. We'll do something. I think no issue at my end because please check the sound. Increase the sound. Okay, we'll do something. Now it's perfect. Okay. Okay. So I have made a particular supply of service to Mr. Chetan for 5,000 rupees and the rate of GST is 18%, 900 rupees. Okay. And Mr. Chetan is also registered under GST. So when I will issue the invoice to Mr. Chetan for 5,000 rupees, Chetan is also wants to claim the input tax credit. Okay. So the government is saying that Mr. Sachin, that is Mr. Supplier, when you are making a particular supply to any person, you just need to provide the details about your supply to us. Okay. Because if government will say that you just need to show the amount that during this particular month, I had made a sales of rupees 5 lakh or 15 lakh. So when you will provide only the quantum, in such a scenario, government will not able to check the invoice wise details. Hence, government is saying that Mr. Supplier, when you will make a particular supply in a particular month, just share the invoice wise details with us. Okay. So government has designed one specific mechanism, and through that mechanism government is saying that we are going to provide you one specific return that is called as GSTR 1 return, and in that return, Mr. Sachin, Mr. Supplier, you just need to show You just need to show the supply which you have made invoice wise. Now, I had made that sales of 5,000 rupees to Mr. Chetan. I just need to provide the invoice wise entry. Mr. Chetan, the GSTN of Mr. Chetan, I have provided the service for the 5,000 rupees. This 900 is the GST amount. That is detail. I just need to submit in this return. Now, suppose with that I have provided multiple services to multiple persons. Okay. And in that particular scenario, I have provided the service and charged the fees of 200 rupees, 500 rupees, 700 rupees, 1000 rupees from multiple persons. In such a scenario, all these persons are unregistered person. They are not registered under GST. So government said that Mr. Sachin, if you will provide the individual invoices of each and every of your unregistered sale, then it will be quite difficult for us as well as for you. So you can do one thing, you just need to provide the consolidated details of your unregistered sales. Consolidated details of your unregistered sales and invoice wise detail of your registered sales. You just need to show the invoice wise details of your registered sales and consolidated details of your unregistered sale. That is what is the requirement. Okay. Now, government is also saying that suppose during that particular month, Mr. Sachin has made a sales of 5,000 rupees to Mr. Chetan, and suppose Mr. Sachin has issued one credit note related to discount of 1,000 rupees. In that case, government is saying, yes, you have to report that credit note as well. And while reporting that credit note, just consider registered credit note. That means if you are providing any credit to a registered person, in that case, you have to issue invoice wise details. And if this will be your unregistered person, in that case you may provide the consolidated details of the unregistered credit note, or you can adjust the same. Okay, sir, we'll discuss the e-way bill and everything will cover. Just give me thoda sa time. Okay? So credit note, registered as well as unregistered, if there will be any discount or sales return, you can say we have to report in this particular return. Now, sir, as we are saying that when the supplier is providing any services to the recipient, supplier has to make the payment of taxes to the government, and recipient, if registered, then he will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Am I right? Now, Sachin has provided one invoice to Mr. Chetan for 5,000 rupees at the rate of 18%. GST amount is 900 and uploaded the same on GSTN common portal. A portal which is there for the submission of data, for taking the registration, for providing the various facilities. Now, Sachin has provided that invoice to Mr. Chetan. Now, Chetan is going to claim the input tax credit for 900 rupees. Now, government has one doubt that suppose Mr. Sachin has provided the invoice of 5,000 rupees, GST is 900 rupees. Kahin aisa to nahi Mr. Chetan is going to claim the input tax credit for 9,000 rupees. How we can verify? In that case, the developer, the Infotech, has provided one suggestion to the government and said that, sir, Mr. Sachin is going to report the GSTN of Mr. Chetan. So why not will link the GSTN of Mr. Sachin and GSTN of Mr. Chetan? So that when Mr. Sachin will upload the GSTN of Mr. Chetan, in that case, that ITC amount of 900 will be auto-populated in the ID of Mr. Chetan. And for that purpose, we have to provide one specific form in which the data will be, that is the input will be auto-populated based on the GSTN which has been submitted by the supplier, and they given the name to that statement as GSTR to B. Yes, Sunil sir, they given the name GSTR to B. Now, just try to understand. Just try to understand. In the GSTR one return, the supplier has declared the invoice wise details. Lalan sir, I think my voice is completely audible. Everyone is comfortable with the voice? Okay, thank you, sir. Lalan sir, please check at your end. Yes, we'll discuss 2A, 2B. We'll discuss first. Just try to understand the concepts which is there now. Okay. We'll also discuss the concepts of 2A, 2B, everything. And also, I request everyone, as you have received one notebook. Okay. ये मुझे पहले बता देना चाहिए था. In that particular notebook, on the last 7 to 8 pages, just given heading as query. If you have any doubt, any question, any query, or if you want to ask anything in future, in that case, write it down in that notebook, the last pages of 5 to 7 pages, so that you can easily recall that query, you can easily ask the same. That you can do. Now, supplier is going to report the invoices B2B, that is registered, unregistered, credit note related data, supplier is going to report. And based on that, the data will be transferred to the recipient in GSTR2B. But merely reporting the invoices on the GSTN common portal in GSTR1 is not at all sufficient. Okay. That means the recipient. I think now voice is completely okay, because I have also changed the microphone. So I think now it is completely okay, because for me it is a concern. Okay, thank you, sir. So I have just changed the microphone, shift the microphone. So now I think it is completely perfect. Okay. Now the supplier is going to report, the invoices in the GSTR1 return. Now one question is that merely showing the invoices in the GSTR1 return is not a proof to make the payment to the government. Okay. And also government, yes, wants the invoices, the reflection, the compliances, but the question is that government also wants the revenue. So for the revenue perspective, because merely showing the invoices in GSTR1 return, government is not going to take any revenue. So for that purpose, government has designed one specific return as well. And in that return, first, don't write the name of return, I request, because I just want to share with you something. So government is saying that Mr. Supplier, Mr. Sachin, you have already reported the invoices in your GSTR1 return, that is registered, unregistered, credit note, debit note. You have already reported the same. Okay. Now, as you have already reported the invoice details, now question is that we require the revenue, and for getting that revenue, the services which you have provided to your parties, you have also taken certain inward supply in the due course. You have also taken certain inward supply in the due course, or when you have received certain services in your due course, you are also eligible to claim the input tax credit. Suppose in a particular month, just for an example, in Feb 2025 month, suppose in Feb 2025 month, you have made a sales of 5 lakh rupees. Okay. And the rate of GST is suppose 18%, and the GST amount is suppose 90,000 rupees. In that particular month, you have also received certain services from the market for providing these type of services. So suppose you have taken certain services or taken certain goods from the market for providing that particular type of services for 2 lakh rupees at the rate of 18%, that is 36,000 rupees. So as we have already covered in our day one, that the liability will be of the balance amount, that is 54,000 rupees. Now government is saying, yes, you have reported your sales in your GSTR1 return, invoice wise. Now you just need to show that adjustment. So you just need to provide the data as consolidated. And for providing that consolidated data, government is saying, just report us your consolidated sales, that is 5 lakh rupees. The tax on that is 90,000 rupees. And also show your input tax credit, that is ITC, suppose 2 lakh rupees inward supply, and the input tax credit 36,000 rupees. Balance after adjustment you just need to pay. And for this mechanism for collecting the revenue, government has designed one specific return, that is called as GSTR 3B return. So basically there are two returns. One is GSTR1, in which supplier is going to declare the invoices or supply, or The second part is your GSTR 3B, in which we are paying the taxes. Yes, Sachin sir, I know you all know about these specific type of mechanism, but the point is that we are starting it from basic. And believe me, all these things will play a very important role while discussing the important and technical points. Okay. Hence, I am sharing with you the logics. So just bear with me, as I have already declared in the initial first day one that for 3 to 4 days, first 3 to 4 days, just bear with me because we'll cover very basics. Is that okay for everyone? Or you want to skip these things? So these are the two returns, GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, and 2B is there to get the input tax credit. And when I am sharing this GSTR 2B, 1, 3B, there is a very big logic. Okay, when we'll discuss a specific chapter called returns, in that case, we'll show you the reason that why we have covered these things in a very basic way. Now, GSTR 1, 3B, these are the returns which is there. While filing the GSTR 1 return, we are supposed to show the supply. Okay. We are also supposed to show the supply as exempted supply. Now we have received one query. We'll discuss that as well. We also need to report that exempted supply. Now, big question is that what is the difference between exempted supply and nil rated supply? What is the difference between the exempted supply and nil rated supply? Just try to understand. Sir, exempted supply, which is going to be exempt through the notification. There may be certain supplies, government is saying that these supplies are the exempted supply by issuing a particular notification. So in that case, government is not going to declare any rate. They are just going to declare that this particular supply is the exempted supply by the notification. But in case of nil rated, although in complete GST Act, they have not given the definition, they have not given the definition of the nil rated supply anywhere in the GST law. But in basic, when government is going to declare a particular nil rate for a specific supply, in that case, the same will be treated as the nil rated supply, and this is also a part of exempted supply, you can say. Okay. So this is my exempted supply, nil rated supply. Next, my non-taxable supply. Non-taxable supply, a specific supply which is not taxable right now, but in future government may impose the GST on that. You can say 5 petroleum products. Okay, 5 petroleum products. These are not taxable right now, but government may impose GST on that 5 petroleum products. Now one question is that, sir, we all know 5 petroleum product, high speed, motor speed, petroleum. Okay, on this particular type of products, government is not charging GST. Why? Any reason, any logic? Did you know the logic that why government is not charging GST on these 5 specific petroleum products? Anyone is there who has idea about the logic? Yes, exactly, Ganeshan sir. Yes, involvement of state government is there, but the main reason is that they are charging highest rate of taxation on that particular 5 petroleum products because under GST, we all know the highest rate of taxation is 28%. The highest rate of taxation is 28%, but now they are charging tax on these 5 petroleum products approx 39%. So if they bring it into the GST regime, in that case, the rate of GST will be highest rate is 28%. So they have to charge 28%. This will be a reduction in the revenue of government. Hence, they are saying that the rate will be applicable as per the continuing taxes. Okay. Now, as in our GSTR 1 return, we have to show the exempted supply, the not taxable supply, the nil rated supply. Now question is that अभी हमने discuss किया when we are declaring a particular sales, Yes, definitely, Akshay sir. If they come into the GST regime, the prices will be reduced definitely. Now, when a particular person is going to make the sales, or supply, in such a scenario, suppose after making that sales, suppose I have issued one invoice of 5,000 rupees at the rate of 18%. The rate is the tax amount is 900. In that case, suppose in future I have declared, or I want to reduce the outward supply, or I want to enhance the outward supply. Okay, there may be two scenarios. I want to reduce. There may be chances I have to reduce the outward supply or I have to enhance the outward supply. Now, question is that why I have to reduce or why I have to enhance the supply. Suppose I have made a supply of 5,000 rupees at the rate of 18%, and I have provided one specific discount, or there may be chances of certain rate differences, certain margin money. Okay, in that case, there may be a reduction in the outward supply, and there may be enhancement due to rate revision. Okay, so whenever there will be a reduction in the outward supply, then supplier has to issue the credit note. And whenever there will be a increase, in the outward supply, in that case, debit note is there. So credit note is for enhancement of the supply, debit note is for reduction of the supply. Debit and credit note will also be shown in the GSTR 1 return and adjusted the taxable value while paying the taxes in GSTR 3B return. This is also a very, very basic thing. Okay. Now, this is all about returns. These are the basics. We have a specific chapter that is called as returns. At that time, we'll discuss in very detailed way all the returns which is applicable in case of GST. Now, when we are issuing the invoices or when we are filing the returns, okay. So government wants a identification. Government wants a identification about the goods or services which has been sold by a particular person. Suppose I am providing the services related to the taxation consultancy. There may be chances someone is providing or supplying the goods in the course or furtherance of business. So government wants the identification of each and every item. Hence, government has developed two types of specific segments. Government has given a specific number in case of goods. They have given a specific number to each and every item of the goods, that is called as HSN code. This code is going to provide the identification of the goods, and this HSN code or this classification is very, very, very relevant. कई बार हम सोचते हैं, many time we are just going to think that sir, we may put any HSN code. Why we need to put the HSN code which is completely related to that particular goods? We may put any HSN code, not an issue. But the point is that, sir, try to understand, when you will check the rate notification, complete rate rationalization under GST is based on these HSN code, and in case of services, they have given the SAC code. So these two plays a very important role. And when we are filing the GSTR 1 return, that is outward supply, we also need to submit the HSN code wise summary. 30 to 40% professionals are not giving the due care while uploading the data related to HSN code and SSC code. But this is quite relevant and quite important, because logic, also listen the logic. Sir, suppose you have put any wrong HSN code while filing the HSN code wise summary, and in that HSN code the rate is different as per the rate which you are going to pay in your GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B return. In such a scenario, in future, there may be a litigation. So we need to be very much careful from that perspective. Yes, exempted or taxable sales may you may issue the same invoice. You can show the two products in that. How to find out the HSN code perfectly? Sir will discuss or will try to provide you one Excel tool regarding that. Okay. So we'll suggest you one Excel tool which has been developed by the government itself only. So we'll try to suggest the same. That tool is also very relevant for finding the HSN and SAC code. So this classification is very, very, very relevant from HSN and SAC code perspective. And we also need to submit it while filing the GSTR 9 return as well. Now, returns part complete ho gaya. Now again, we are switching to an important topic that is called as registration. Today, in our today's session, we'll complete all the basic parts. Okay. So in our next class, we'll directly start our discussion from the section number 1 of the CGST Act. Okay. Next class will be based on section number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, registration. As we have to apply for the GST registration on the GSTN common portal. Now, while applying for the registration, this is also very basic. I know 95% of the participants already know these type of things, but yes, once again, listen these things. Now, registration. While applying for the GST registration, we have certain constitution of the firm. Okay. You can say one may open the firm as a proprietorship firm. One may open as a partnership firm. One may open as a LLP. One may open as a company. One may open as a HUF, BOI, AOP. So these are the major constitution under GST, you can say, or when we are applying for the GST registration, we have to select that this is my proprietorship concern, this is my partnership concern, this is my LLP, company, HUF. Now, we'll share with you certain key points which you need to keep in your mind while filing the registration application. Because, sir, why I am saying, because 30 to 40% professionals are feeding the wrong data while applying for the GST registration, or at the time of litigation, scrutiny, audit, or assessment, when they are going to check your registration particulars, which is mentioned on GST registration certificate, they may raise certain questions. So we also need to be very much careful from that perspective. Now, whenever you will applying for the GST registration as a proprietorship concern, in that case, one thing we just need to keep in our mind, that if possible, then also appoint one authorized representative or authorized signatory, you can say. Authorized representative, if you want to appoint, in that case appoint. If you don't want to appoint, in that case also it is okay. But authorized signatory is required. And whenever you are appointing the authorized signatory, in that case, try to appoint the legal here. Okay. Try to note it down, because when we'll discuss our registration chapter, we'll show you the reason why we need to appoint the legal heirs in that case. Okay. So we have to select, or when we are applying for the GST registration based on the proprietorship concern, then the PAN number of proprietor is sufficient, and based on that, the GSTN will be allotted. Mark my line. PAN number, and based on that PAN number, GSTN will be allotted. That means the complete GSTN is based on the PAN number. GSTN is based on the PAN number. So first question is that whether I can take the multiple GSTN on a single PAN. Yes, definitely you can take multiple GSTN on a single PAN. Now, suppose in a particular state, Jodhpur, Rajasthan state, I want to take multiple GSTN on same number. I can take, yes, definitely. Now, question is that suppose I have one office is at Jodhpur, Rajasthan, another office is at Gujarat, different state. So in that case, I need to take multiple GST registration. Yes, definitely. On the same PAN number, you can take the GSTN. Now, suppose in Rajasthan, I have to open 3 to 4 branches and I don't want to take the GST registration. Is it possible? Yes, definitely. That is when a particular person is going to situated, or when a particular person is going to open multiple branches in a particular state. In such a scenario, no need to take the separate GST registration. On same registration, you can open the branches. But if the branch is outside state, in such a scenario, yes, you have to take the GST registration separately. Now, try to understand one specific concept. I have one office is at Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Another office is at Maharashtra. Okay, this is my office number 1. This is my office number 2. In such a scenario, I have to take the GST registration separately. I have to take the GST registration separately for this. Now, whenever there will be a particular transaction between Jodhpur and Maharashtra, that transaction will be treated as the transaction between the distinct person. Same PAN, different GSTN, all the parties will be called as distinct person. And whenever there will be a transaction between the distinct person, just try to understand. Suppose I have one office in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and I am supplying something to my Gujarat office, and I am saying that I am supplying these things without any cost, without any price, and I am not supposed to liable for the GST payable. Government knows this probability, hence they have declared that whenever there will be a branch office is going to transfer anything to other branch office which is in other state, the same will be treated as the transaction between the distinct person and liable for the GST applicability. So we just need to be very much careful from that perspective. So GSTN is always pen based. When different state, in such a scenario, yes, you need to take the GST registration. Whenever there will be a branch is another state, in that case, yes, GSTN is required. Now, which में आ गया, hence I have taken that point. Otherwise, we just need to move on this particular segment. Now, registration, proprietorship firm, you just need to take the GST registration based on the PAN number. In case of partnership firm, based on the PAN number of the partnership firm, you have to take the GST registration. Now, LLP has a separate PAN number, so based on that you can apply for the GST registration. Same will be applicable in case of company, same will be applicable in case of HUF. In case of proprietorship firm, all the details of the proprietor will be submitted, but in case of partnership, LLP company, there may be chances of partners, there may be chances of members, there may be chances of directors. In that case, we have to submit the details related to director, the partners, the members. Okay, and also whenever we are applying for the GST registration, definitely we are applying for the GST registration for conducting a particular business, and for conducting the business there is requirement of a location, that is place. So we also need to register a place on GSTN common portal. Now, when we are registering for GSTN common portal, for place there may be multiple chances. That place may be rented, that place may be owned, that place may be consent. These are the probable 3 specific scenarios. If rented, in that case there will be a requirement of rent agreement. With rent agreement, there is requirement of a ownership proof, because earlier only based on the rent agreement we may apply for the GST registration, but the point is that now it is mandatory to submit that the particular person to whom you have taken that premises on rent, that person is the owner of that particular property, hence you have to submit the ownership proof. You can say electricity bill, you can say the copy of registry, you have to submit. In case of own, you have to submit the documents related to ownership. And in case of consent, suppose the property is within the blood relationship, wife, husband, father, mother, in that case we may take the consent letter on 100 rupees stamp. Okay, that I am going to provide you the consent for using this particular property for the conduct of the business,
that is also sufficient. So these 3 documents or 3 sets is required while applying for the GST registration. After applying for the GST registration, after electronic verification or after Aadhaar authentication, now it is also mandatorily required, that is Aadhaar authentication, and based on certain parameter your case may be selected. Sir, rent agreement will not valid for 100 rupees stamp, minimum 500 rupees stamp is required. Now place. Okay. Now, when we are going for the registration, Aadhaar authentication, in multiple cases, now they are selecting for the biometric authentication. Sir, what do you mean by this biometric authentication? Government had developed certain centers for the biometric verification. The taxpayer needs to go to that place with the required documents, submit the documentation. After biometric authentication, your GSTN will be allotted. Now, when you are applying for the GST registration, there may be 2 scenarios. Okay, departmental authority may approve your registration application or may issue one so cause notice. Suppose you have provided certain deficiency in the documentation that is related to the trade name, related to the principal place of business, related to the additional place of business, related to the HSN and SAC code, related to the documentation which you have submitted. In that case, they may issue the show cause notice and you have to provide the proper reply. Now, I just want to say you one thing. Whenever you are applying the GST registration, all the documents should be clearly visible. In many cases, we are submitting the documentation without visibility. And also one more suggestion from my side, when our client is submitting the documentation to us, we just need to check the complete validity at our end, that the documents are valid, the documents are clear, the documents are full, which is required in different segments. So that when we'll apply for the GST registration, our registration will be approved in the first shot. Yes, definitely. In case of Mumbai, they are not going to accept your rent agreement. You need to go for leave and license agreement. Yes, definitely. Biometric authentication is not compulsory in all cases. They are selecting your application for the biometric authentication based on certain requirements. And nowadays, also, when you are applying for the GST registration and you are selecting that owned property or rented property, or you are submitting the electricity bill, they are also going to ask you the K number, which will be there on the electricity bill, and based on that they are going to verify your registration detail. Yes, definitely. State duty is completely different and it is completely based on state to state. If you require the complete list of stamp duty, then also I can share with you so that you can paste it in your office if you are handling the work for multiple states, as we are having the work from multiple states of India. So we have the complete list. So you can also paste it in your office so that you can check it anytime. So these are the 2 probabilities and certain things which I had already shared that you need to keep in your mind. Sir, in case of cooperative housing society, you have to provide the cooperative housing society registration certificate, the ownership proof which is in the name of that cooperative housing society. You have to submit these 2 documents and 1 letter which has been authorized by the authorized member of that cooperative housing society. Okay. So these are the proper things which is related to registration. Now, after filing the registration application and approval of registration, in future, if there will be any changes in the particulars of the registration, this is a very core area on which we all need to be focused. Because many cases when our taxpayer is not going to submit the documentation on time, so we also need to be very much careful from that particular aspect. Whenever there will be a change in director, partner, we just need to provide the details to the government within 30 days. If you will not supposed to provide the details within 30 days, we'll also discuss the effect in our coming sessions. Okay. Because these first 3 days are just the brain opening, that these things we are going to discuss in future. Okay. And these are the basics of this GST. Now, amendment should be filed on perfect timely basis. HSN SAC code, just discuss with your client based on the nature of transaction, based on the business activities. Select the HSN and SAC code, because in many cases while going for the business audit, departmental audit, or in many cases when the departmental authority is going to detain your goods during the movement, in that case they are checking the goods from the GST and common portal, the HSN SAC code which you have been mentioned on portal, and if they found any variation, in that case they may issue the notice to you. So we need to be very much careful from that aspect. Okay, so this is all about our registration. Sir, that is a advanced point we'll discuss at the time of our discussion on registration. Whenever there will be a change from partnership to LLP, in that case what type of things we need to keep in our mind, that will definitely discuss, or partnership to company, because now there are these type of situations are there, so we'll discuss very carefully. Okay, now pen versus GSTN we have done, invoicing we have done, amendment of registration we have done, returns we have done. Now one important thing which we need to keep in our mind, that is we also need to ask our client, you are handling any type of job work or you are providing any work on the job work basis to others, in that case the place of the job worker should be added as an additional place of business. In many cases our taxpayer is storing the goods at the transporter place and the transporter place has not been added as an additional place of business. In that case, in case of departmental inspection, if they found certain goods at that place without additional place of business, in such a scenario, there may be certain issues. They will treat it as a supply and they will demand GST from you. So we need to be very much careful from that aspect. Yes, if you are adding any new HSN code in your business, in that case, you have to upload it on GST and common portal, because if you are dealing in that particular goods or you are not supposed to show that HSN code on GST and common portal, and during the moment if they found that particular type of goods, in that case they may impose the journal penalty, they may raise the demand. So we need to be very much careful from that aspect. Sir, books के केस में there is no requirement to add that place as an additional place of business. Sir, amendment to be filled, although we'll discuss these topics in a very detailed way, but for your reference, amendments will be filed whenever there will be a change, in any particulars related to partner, director, members. Whenever there will be a change in principal place of business, additional place of business, whenever there will be a change in bank account details, whenever there will be a change related to your HSN SEC code, in all these scenario you have to file the amendments, and that should be filed within 30 days, not more than that. Okay, and we'll also show you the effect, that if you are not going to amend these things within 30 days, then what will be the effect. So we'll discuss on that effect as well in near future classes. Okay, sir, if your client is storing any goods at the transporter place, in that case, yes, the same should be added as additional place of business. Otherwise, no need to add as additional place of business, because in many cases, they have to keep it. Okay, yes, you can report it. 5 major commodities on the G. Suppose someone is dealing in hardware related products. In that case, hardware related HSN code is separately there. So you just need to put that HSN code that will cover multiple commodities. Okay, like commodities, it is completely okay. But a particular commodity which is altogether different, you just need to be very much careful. Yes, you just need to enter the maximum, which is covering the maximum part of your supply or which represent the huge quantum of your sales or purchase, that should be shown. Is that okay, Gaganraj sir? Sir, Sunil sir, related to your job work process, just give me thoda sa time. We'll discuss that job work in a very detailed way. What are the documents? What is the capital goods? What is the, in case of the supply, what are the documentation which should be filed? How we can maintain the ITC 04? That is things we'll definitely discuss in near future. Okay. This is just the basic classes, these 3 classes. Okay. Now, sir, yes, definitely we are putting the 4-digit HSN code that is covered the complete group. Okay. कई बार क्या होता है, suppose we have just put we have just added 4 HSN code or 5 HSN code, and there is other product which is completely different from that 5 HSN code. In that case, yes, we have to report it. And suppose there is a 6 product, 5 is already there, and you are not able to put the 6th number HSN code, but which is completely there. In that case, write one letter to your jurisdictional officer that, sir, we are dealing in this HSN code as well, but we are not able to upload it on the GST and common portal. So we are providing this detail to your good self, and take the acknowledgement from that and keep it in your file. That is what is the solution you need to do. Yes, if you have multiple go downs, the same should be added as an additional place of business, definitely, because if you are not supposed to add it as an additional place of business, in that case, whatever goods which is stored at that place, in case of inspection, they will treat it as your supply and they will demand GST from you. Sir, we know the jurisdictional officer. Write one letter to your jurisdictional officer, provide the details of the goods which is there, provide the HSN code, and provide that letter to the jurisdictional officer and take the acknowledgement. That is what is the way. Now, sir, we have covered the part that is registration, the returns, the basic things which is there on GST and common portal. Although a lot of things are there on GST and common portal, and we'll discuss each and everything. But these basics we have already covered. Now, sir, for filing the returns, for taking the GST registration, for handling the compliances, there is requirement to maintain certain documentation under GST. So what are the documentation or books of accounts which is required under GST? Sir, on GST and common portal, you can upload 4-digit HSN code. It is completely okay, but your invoicing should be with 6-digit HSN code. Now, there is requirement to maintain the cash ledger, which is already maintained. The sales ledger, the purchase ledger, these are the very important ledgers which we need to maintain. The creditors ledger, the debtors ledger, the income ledger, the expenditure ledger, the journal ledger. Basically, these are the ledgers, you can say bank statement. These are the specific documents which should be maintained by a particular person under GST or under any law. In income tax also these documents are required. But from GST perspective, your sales ledger very important, your purchase ledger, your creditors ledger, your income ledger, your expenditure ledger. These are the ledgers which is very important. Manoj sir, in case of supermarket, you just need to select the HSN code related to grocery product. If you will select only one, your work is done. So you just need to do these type of things. Yes, stock register is also required. Stock register is also required, and that is also a very important documentation. But in case of textile industry, they are not maintaining the stock register. Okay. So in many industries, they are not maintaining the stock register. Hence, I have not included this ledger. But yes, these are the very specific documents which is required to be maintained from GST perspective. Your sales, purchase, income and expenditure and journal ledger. These are the ledgers which is very required, and that should be maintained by each and every client. So these are the things we have covered in our basic segment. We have started our discussion. We have started our discussion from the what GST, why GST. Okay. We have also covered the various ledgers, various returns, that is basic returns only. We have also covered the registration related things. We have also covered the documentation related things. We have also covered the details related to outward supply, inward supply, output tax, input tax credit. These things we have covered in our basic 3 sessions. Sir, If you have any doubt related to your basic sessions, in that case, you can comment in the chat box. Because in our next class, we'll directly start our discussion from section number 1, short extent title and commencement of GST. And when we'll start our discussion on the sections, in that case, that will also be a selective discussion, because there may be certain sections which are not so important. So we'll discuss briefly. There are certain sections which are very, very, very important. So we'll discuss with practical implication, with practical applicability. Okay. So in our today's session, as we have covered the supply, that is taxable supply. So we also discuss very, very detailed about the time of supply in that case, value of supply in that case, place of supply in that case, how we can determine the same, how we can put the same or consider the same while filing the GST return. So now onwards, in our next class, we'll discuss each and every provision, each and every section. So first we'll discuss one example, then after we'll discuss that section, and then after we'll discuss the practical implication of that section and provision, so that it will be there in your brain very easily. Yes, definitely, Venu sir. This is completely depend on the industry. How is your accounting? How is your mechanism? How is your taxation or transaction? This is completely depend on that. Okay. So if you have any query or question related to that, then please put it in the chat box. And how was your experience related to basic things? Although I know we have covered very basics, okay, that you already know. But if you like the manner in which we have covered the basic things, then you may comment in the chat box. Yes, sir. Referred will be the recordings will be provided in the group for first 5 to 7 classes. Will provide you the recordings through YouTube. Then after the same will be enabled on your dashboard. And one important thing, sir, the class related to section 128, that is amnesty scheme, and the specific class related to our drafting pleading has already been uploaded on your dashboard. So now what you need to do, although we'll share the complete mechanism on your WhatsApp number or in the WhatsApp group, you just need to do one thing. Just log in on the www.batukconsultancy.com. You just need to log in on batukconsultancy.com. Under course login, you just need to provide your registered mail ID, and by default your password is start@12345. S is in caps. Just provide that password in that particular dashboard, and you will directly move to the dashboard of your courses. In that case, you just need to check the registered courses. You will found that these 2 courses are available in your ID. You can watch the same for next 3 months. Registration 30 days timeline is there, but it will depend. They may approve in 7 days, 8 days, whatever will be the 15 days. So yes, subscription will be available in your ID by 15th of March, because mid of the month we can enable. That is the website guideline. We have already automatically uploaded the same, and everything has been enabled in your ID, but you can check the same on 15th of March. Yes, definitely. Related to exempted supply and related supply, you can say the same. For one, government is going to issue the notification, and through that notification, they are going to exempt a particular supply. In case of nil rated supply, they are not going to issue any notification, but they are going to define a rate, and that is nil rate. And no any definition is given related to nil rated in complete GST law. Password is start@1234. S is in caps. Start@1234. Those who have provided the mail ID by today itself, their credentials or their dashboard will be available by tomorrow morning. So I request everyone to check by tomorrow morning. Start@1234.5. Sir, I have already written it. I think Dhanpal sir, you have joined with books, so you can directly join through the Zoom as well. I think you are watching from the YouTube. So you can directly join through the Zoom. You just need to connect with the WhatsApp group so that you can take the Zoom link and you can connect. Start at the rate 1 2 3 4 5. Just this is start at the rate 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, thank you, Radhakrishnan sir, for helping me. No, Sunil sir, nil rated means not any type of taxable. Zero rated and nil rated is completely different. In case of zero rated, they have website address is www.batuconsultancy.com. Sir, if you have received the books in such a scenario, this will be written on the book as well. Batu Consultancy, you can check. Okay, promotion is proper. So website address is www.batuconsultancy.com. So thank you everyone for your comments. I think from the basics, you all are happy, and definitely when we'll start our discussion on the sections, that will also be a very great for all of you, and we'll start the same with full enthusiasm, with full power. Yes, this is also a good idea. Pallavi ji, this is also a good idea. We'll do that thing. We'll provide one Excel sheet, and in that Excel sheet, we'll try to provide you the topics day wise. Okay, so you can check the same. Once again, happy Holi, everyone. Enjoy the day, enjoy the festival of colors, and make your day. Thank you, everyone, for your wishes in the chat box. And next class related will update in the WhatsApp group. Okay, on 13th and 14th, we have no any class. Just enjoy the festival of colors. So, thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. We'll start with sections in our next class. Thank you. Bye bye. Once again, happy Holi.